Barbenheimer was an even bigger box office success than we thought. Final totals for Barbie and Oppenheimer were 162 million and 82 million, respectively. And there's obviously some overlap in the whole Barbenheimer double feature that people were doing, but overall, it's drastically different audiences. Barbie's 70% female. Oppenheimer is 65% male. R-rated movie versus PG-13 rated movie. When I went to go see Oppenheimer, the entire crowd that was sitting there and like waiting to go in or coming out, they were all dressed in pink. They were all ready to go to Barbie, and everybody seemed excited as hell for it. And what I hope what this shows the entertainment industry is that instead of trying to feminize all these traditionally masculine brands and IPs, maybe you should actually play to your audience. Maybe it's okay to make very feminine, like take these feminine brands and target that towards a female audience. And you can be very successful with that. That's what we're seeing with Barbie right now. That's okay. You don't have to insert all of this shit into Star Wars and Marvel and DC.
I agree completely. You're 100% on the same page. This is why, like, I don't have the energy to worry about Barbie right now. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm a Nolan fan. I've been looking forward to Oppenheimer. I went to see Oppenheimer. I thought Oppenheimer was fantastic. I thought it was incredible. At no point did I feel the 3-hour runtime. It was exactly what it was advertised to be, which was it was a story about Oppenheimer and his struggles as to after he created what he created. But anyway, so going into that, it's like, awesome. I don't care about Barbie. I didn't play with Barbies growing up. I didn't know anything about Barbies. I don't give a shit. There's a lot of people that did, and they can go see that. But having options is wonderful. Having options is the best thing we can ask for. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the method that we need from entertainment, is to give people options and let the chips fall where they may. You know what I mean? I think it's a perfect scenario. And so as long as you have good stuff out there for different audiences, yes. And to Ryan's point, 100%, yes. Stop feminizing non-female properties and just focus on female properties and feminize them. Who gives a shit, right? You know, and if women don't like that, then women can speak up and they can start ranting on YouTube, you know, like us Star Wars fans did. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and a lot of people in our space have been blasting like the message and the agenda and feminist propaganda and stuff in Barbie. I'm halfway through it. Some people say it's towards the tail end. I haven't seen like a massive amount of that yet, to be honest. There's a lot of fucking stereotypes about how incredible everything would be if women ran the world, and then they find out that it's actually nothing like that at all. And the men are treated like shit. And as soon as Ken gets like a little bit of like treated like okay and acceptably, he's like, wow, this is really cool, because he gets treated like shit in Barbie land, right? So that's what I've seen so far from it.
Chrissy liked it. Simcast liked it.
A lot of people have liked it. I know that's not popular for some people, but a lot of people have liked it. It's clearly not made for me. It's made for fucking adult women who played with Barbies. That doesn't mean that all of them are going to like it, but that's clearly who it's targeted towards.
Yep.
Like the opening of it in Barbie land makes me feel like if they made like a G.I. Joe movie for Jeremy, where you got to see all the different toys and action figures and sets and all the different kind of G.I. Joes, like all in this land living together. That's kind of what it felt like. And I'm sure for people who grew up with Barbie, they saw that shit and like they loved it because they remembered from when they were growing up.
The only level of interest I have in this movie now is now the discussion about it, you know, because it's almost like I think there's a huge lesson to be learned here. Barbie was never on my radar. It was never going to be on my radar. And now suddenly like it's this big discussion about it. And I just never found myself like being able to go into a Barbie movie to have a passionate opinion of it one way or the other. It never mattered to me. I mean, maybe I'll try to watch some bootleg version or some shit like that to kind of understand what's going on with it. So, because I don't know, man, if I go to a theater, I'm watching fucking Oppenheimer again. And to be clear, Oppenheimer is not a movie that's just it's not enjoyable. It's not like it'll never rank as like my favorite Nolan movie or anything like that. I don't think it's like a movie that you're gonna enjoy per se. I just think it's a really well-made film, and if it's not seen in IMAX, you're not going to get the full experience at all. It's a wild situation with both of these, and again, it's a good conversation to be had.
And Barbie has made, with this update, it's probably somewhere around $340 million globally. It has made more in 4 days, including the Thursday previews. It's made more in 4 days than Dial of Destiny has in its entire box office run. It had a bigger opening weekend than anything we've seen this year, other than the Super Mario movie, which had a 5-day opening instead of a 3-day. It's wild to see. Now, I do think domestically, if Mario had opened traditionally with a Thursday preview, we may see a different, it may have had a bigger opening weekend, but had a traditional opening than Barbie did. But you didn't get to count those Thursdays because it didn't open that way. But regardless, it's massively successful. We'll see what the drop is next week for both of these. We'll see what the hold is. I personally think it's still going to be really big. Capacity is an issue because not only do you have these movies coming out, but Mission Impossible is still out in a fuck ton of theaters in a lot of screens.
And Sound of Freedom was number 3.
And Sound of Freedom was number 3 at the box office on over 3,000 screens. So I think that's probably going to
continue trending up. That's been trending up. I don't know what the drop was. I don't know.
It was about a 24%, 25% drop this weekend for Sound of Freedom.
Incredible. That's
so
incredible.
It's incredible after a 40% uptick last weekend.
Yes.
So Sound of Freedom is going to continue to do well. I think you're going to see Dial of Destiny and things like that have been there a while lose a shit ton of screens next week to make more room and more screenings for Barbie and Oppenheimer because capacity was an issue. When you look through this week, right now, there's a lot of stuff that's already pre-bought and next weekend as well. So I think the holds for both of these movies are going to be impressive.